Employee number. Please write your employee number. And participant school or administrative unit. This is school name. The name of your school. And the last part, signature of instructor. I sign. Don't sign here. All right, and signing date. I will put it on. Okay. I will put it today's date. It should be today's date. And next page, second page is important. You have to write your name, full name, and employee number, and name of your school, and instructor, and I sign. Okay, so you don't have to sign. All right. Then, okay, everybody finish this orange form? All right, orange form will be collected. This form, orange form. Dr. Park will collect orange form. Thank you. And USC. USC is typically 4.5. Continuing education units is equivalent to 1 semester unit. It is not equivalent exactly same amount of unit, okay? So 4.5 CEU unit, but this is only 3 units. So you think which one is more beneficial to you? Okay? Salary point or USC unit? And fill out last name, first name, home address, CD state zip, email, phone number, and you have to pay $135 online. Next Monday. Okay, next Monday, visit the site. Okay, all right. I will find out the link, registration link for USC unit and I will give you. Okay, anyway, fill out this form, USC form, and collect. Dr. Park will collect USC unit. USC. So, everybody finish? Raise your hand if you finish all the documentation. Okay, let me see. Just raise your hand, then we will collect. Okay, do you need more time? Then just continue. Fill out the form. No problem. Just continue because this is very important. So take time. Okay? And
okay, at this time I would like to ask Dara, who has some idea of teaching schedule in the class. She is not a typical English schedule, but I thought, we are all teachers. I'm a teacher too. So it's getting some idea, listening to others' idea, what they do may be helpful to you. So I want to ask Dara. Thank you for sharing.
Hi everyone. So I teach Pre-AP World Geography to ninth graders. However, I also serve as a volunteer for a college readiness program that serves our community. And so this program serves 7th through 12th graders, ensures that they go on to college after high school. A lot of those students, we refer to them as scholars, and a lot of them have refugee standing or they're recent arrivals and immigrants. And so what the program does is they hold weekly courses. So they meet once a week, and through that, they have 4-week sessions with the scholars in which the volunteers come up with a topic that they then present and teach the students and work with the scholars. And so I was thinking, and I already talked to the director, so she said yes for Eagle Scholars that I work with. I was thinking of using Shijo as one of those 4-week courses, and so 1 week, the very first week, would be analyzing a series of Shijo that we were provided on the USB drive, and just kind of going through the basic principles of it, having them work through the syllables and trying to capture that through the given pieces. The next week, we would maybe have a current event, and so we would talk about that current event or that important topic in the students' lives, write a Shijo over that. Then the next week, I was thinking, since a lot of the scholars come from such various backgrounds, they have a lot of linguistic capital, so I could hone in on that, in which they would write a Shijo incorporating some of those language skills that they have. And then she and I were talking about it, and we were thinking maybe even a Shijo where we have a series of props, and they pick it out of a bag, and then their Shijo has to incorporate that prop in some shape or fashion. And then with the program, Eagle Scholars, they have a mission statement that they sing out at the end of programming, and it's a pretty long statement. And I was thinking one of the things that they could do was just sit down and analyze it, pick out what are the key terms and words and phrases, what is this mission statement saying, and then writing a Shijo out of it because it's much shorter, and that they could incorporate analysis through all of that.
Thank you. So it's not just a Shijo, whatever you heard throughout the week, like what the lecture you heard about immigrant history or any other things you heard earlier, if you want to share before the end of the day, then please let us know. So we will just listen to your idea. Thank you.
Okay. All right, then we will start second lecture of the last day. Ms. Jung-Hae Kim received her PA in Asian American Studies from the University of Washington, a master's degree in educational administration from California State, LA, and attended graduate school at UCLA for her education administrative credentials. She has demonstrated leadership ability in many organizations, such as the Korean American Educators Association, president of the Korean Women's International Network, and principal and deputy superintendent of the Korean Institute of Southern California Saturday Heritage Schools. Since 1980, Jung-Hae Kim has held numerous positions in the Los Angeles Unified School District, including classroom teacher, coordinator, instructional advisor, bilingual advisor, assistant principal, and principal.
Thank you so much for a kind introduction. Before I begin, I really want to say thank you and how such a wonderful privilege for me to be here, for you to be on your own vacation and a whole week-long seminar. It's really commendable, and for you to learn more about Korea so they could best service our Korean community. It's just remarkable, and I'd like to say thank you again. This is such a wonderful audience to see. So before we begin, I know today's your last day. You had many seminars, had a wonderful field trips and so on. So I have a little sort of a prizes with a small quiz, very simple quiz. So if you're paying attention all along, you should all get 100%. Okay, so I know you have many wonderful speakers, and really so nice to see my teacher from the past, Miss Rosa here, Navarre, and Miss Alvarez, you said? So nice to see. Oh, wow, this is really nice. Normally I think it's very casual, but I'm still nervous. It's that coffee I had this morning commuting from Calabasas. So anyway, okay, so first question. You all know the capital city of South Korea is Seoul. What is the capital city of North Korea? Yes? Is it Pyongyang?
Yes.
평양이 아니잖아요. 계속이잖아요. Did you learn it's a Pyongyang? Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, Pyongyang. Did you learn it's a 계속? May I ask Rosa if you don't mind? Sorry, she used to work for me. She's at another school, Harvard, with a wonderful principal. But can you help me pass out prizes once they got it right? Thank you. Okay, second question. Korea is divided into North and South Korea. That parallel, which line? You have your hand up first. DMZ is the demilitarized zone, but which parallel divides the North and South? You got it, 38th parallel. We are all believing given second chance, right? So 38th parallel, good for you. Okay. Korean language alphabet is called what? I'm sorry, I know her hand up went up first. The one with the black shirt? Okay, then you. Hangul. The correct answer, Hangul. Then which king invented Hangul? Over there. King Sejong, Sejongdaewon. Yes? Wonderful. Okay. 1988, Seoul hosted the Olympic Games, right? And this winter, Korea hosted Winter Olympic Games. What city was it held? Lady over there in the back? Pyeongchang, correct. Pyeongchang Olympic Games. I was there for the opening. Oh my God. Oh, it was so cold, but it was worth it. I'm telling you, it was just breath. I mean, oh, it's so amazing. Okay, next question. All right, Korean War started what year, and then what year, and for how long? Yes, the lady in the black shirt back there. 1950 started and ended when? It lasted 3 years, so it ended at? Correct. 1953, yes. So 1950, 1953, 3 years, yes. Okay. Name 3 things the Koreans know worldwide. Yes.
K-pop, K-drama, K-fashion, or beauty.
Okay, that's correct, but I was not thinking of all that entertainment line. Yes, that's correct. What other, you could name some more.
Oh.
Besides K-pop and drama, yes.
Food.
Oh, food, okay, what else? Cell phone, Samsung and LG, and then the car, Hyundai, okay, so Samsung, LG, Hyundai, and K-pop, K-drama, entertainment. Yes. How are we doing with prices? We're doing good?
4.
Okay, so how many letters in Korean alphabet? Yes. 24, yes. How many vowels? 10. How many consonants?
14.
Perfect. Now you know your subtractions. 24 take away 10. Great, wonderful. Okay, all right. I kind of wrote some things down here there, but what are the most commonly known surname of Korean families? Yes. Kim, Lee, Kang. The one that you spoke? Park, yes. Kim, Park, and Lee, yes. Thank you. In fact, my nickname is Shin, but I got married to Kim. And there's an old saying, like, Namsan is the highest mountain in Seoul. So when you get to the top of the Namsan, you throw a rock, you're bound to hit Park, Lee, or Kim. Yes.
How many Korean last names are there?
How many Korean surnames? I don't know. Some last names are driven from even China and other. I don't know. Do you know how many surnames there are in Korea? I don't know. 40, 50. Like some of the other surnames, like maybe Jen, it's really derived or driven from like China. Yes. Okay, are we doing good? 2 more. Okay, 1 for you. 1 for you. Okay. Okay. Can someone share your experiences this week? One highlight of this week. Yes, the one with pink.
The friendship bell yesterday.
Oh, friendship bell yesterday. Yes, friendship bell. Edward earnestly talked to you about it, huh? How? Because sometimes people misunderstand how it was erected, you know, to commemorate that 200th year from United States, from France. Okay, so he talked about all of that. Okay, yeah, friendship bell. Thank you. That's for you. Yes. Thank you, everybody. Okay. That was just a little warm up. Okay. Okay, what do you already know about our Korean American students? Right? What do you know about our Korean American students? There's no really right answer. Yes?
They care about their success in the classroom.
They care about their success in the classroom. Yes? Yes?
Typically very hardworking.
Very hardworking, typically. Yes?
Becoming more diverse.
Becoming more diverse. Okay. Hardworking, dedicated. They hold education as their highest priority. Okay. All positive things. But we do have youngsters who are really not doing as well, also failing, also needs other assistance. Okay. Yes.
On that note, I had a student last year and the year before who had a lot of intellectual disabilities, and cognitively she was about 2 years old, but she was still one of the hardest working little kiddos. And I teach 4th grade, so.
I'm so glad to hear that, because that's coming a little later down with all the slides, but Korean families really don't acknowledge students with disabilities and how to seek for assistance and counseling. That's coming up, but it is more now opening up, and they're seeking because they know that it's really the best for the student, child, so thank you. Okay, so not only they're the model minority, we do have some youngsters who need assistance. Okay, similarities and differences. Okay, so similarities and differences. So Korean American students and immigrant students, obviously they're all speaking Korean. And then Korean American students, most of them are like maybe 1.5 generation, 2nd generation, some they're also 3rd generation. And they're both mostly bilingual, biliterate, bicultural, and they have a lot of Americanness. Whereas the 1st generation immigrants, they really have a very limited English speaking skills and still rooted in a Korean culture. Okay. Challenges that students face, parents are often absent at home, working long hours, and there's also spousal abuse, and communication is very difficult, it's a barrier for them, and then students feel intense pressure from parents to succeed. And then there's some unrealistic expectations. And they want all A's to go to Harvard, Yale, and the prestigious universities. But yet not all youngsters can achieve that. So there are challenges that students face. What about parents? Parents have very difficulty getting involved with a child's school. Okay? And also concerned with their economic security and prosperity and complexity of living in this multicultural, multi-ethnic. Because here in Los Angeles, especially in Koreatown, people are very, very fortunate that really everything is so easily accessible. You don't even have to speak a word of English. 24/7, you can speak Korean all day long and still get all your needs and wants. So, but on the other side, even though you lived here in Los Angeles for 30 years, they don't speak English very well because they are not exposed to a lot of that. Because we meet families, maybe parents in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, they've been here 30, 40 years, but their command of English is very, very limited. Okay? I know a lot of the other speakers went through the immigration to America. Wave 1 was 1902, 1905, then when the farm workers came to Hawaii to work in the sugarcane fields. Obstacles they faced are language difficulties, cultural differences, and also racial discrimination. And then conflicting value system, and then misunderstood by main society. Then wave 2, 1945, 1964, their students, war brides, and orphans came to America primarily as a result of the Korean War, 1950 to 1953. And then wave 3, 1965 to current. The largest number arrived in response to the Immigration Naturalization Act of 1965. This one, my parents took sort of advantage of it. So our family immigrated to actually Seattle, Washington in 1967, March 16th, I remember. March 16, 1967, so our family immigrated to Seattle, Washington. So I came here as a young student. So we'll talk about it a little later, but as we talk about first generation, 1.5 generation, and second generation, but someone like me coming here at a young age, actually there's a gap between 1.5 and second generation. So there's also 1.9 generation when they were here at age 4 or 5, and there's 1.8 generation when they came here maybe kinder first, something like that. And there's 1.7, some sort of in between, so 1.75. The teacher over here, she says she's 1.8, came here maybe kinder by age 5, 6, something like that. Yes?
How is the break? I've never heard of like 1.5 generations. I don't know what that's referencing.
1.5 generation refers to, I guess, immigrants or Korean Americans who arrived here with their parents at their young age. So parents are first generations, and then children came with them. And then depending on the age they arrived, there's a little bit of difference between 1.5, 6, 7, and 8. But usually it's just a little too complicated. So they say 1.5 generation, meaning that you're not born in the States. You came here as a young child with your families. So you hear 1.5 a lot. I'm a 1.5 generation, you hear all of that. Okay? And then post-1965 immigrants, they were professionals, skilled workers, and 2/3 of them already had college degrees. They have a high number of doctorate degrees, and then also affiliated with churches, and then 40% own small business, and then about 87% are below age of 50. So people came for different opportunities. Okay. Needs of our Korean immigrant students, student needs, again, when they first arrive, it's a language barrier, cultural understanding, and then values, tradition, education, academic success, and diversity of Korean generation gap. So here, between second and first, you see there's a gap. In between, there's more too. Sorry about that little, that's awfully. I was trying to highlight, but social, emotional, psychological needs. Okay? And again, they're becoming more fluent in both languages, then family expectations, then also peer pressure. Then what about families, parents? Again, they want to make sure their children are successful, their highest priority is the education, so they have expectations and education career goals, okay? And then they find it difficult to motivate the young children. They're like teens, motivate them more effectively and communicate more with them, have more dialogues and discussions. Families, parents are finding it a little more difficult and challenging. Okay? Cultural values, and then again, I'll go into more detail about cultural values, other things. But just overall, and then now the teens, doing well in school is a challenge for them because a lot of peer pressure, a lot of family pressure, and parents' expectations. Choosing a career is another challenge because oftentimes, parents want the best for their children, so they want them to be all professionals. I mean, teaching or educators or teachers are known as the highest regards in Korea. There's old saying that you don't even step on teacher's shadow because they're that respectful. But here in the States, a little bit different. They would like us to be, so families want their children to become doctors and lawyers and other professionals. And then especially there's also gender bias expectations. So if your son, the oldest son, would like to become a teacher in the States, then they kind of like, are you sure? You could do better than that, you could do more. So there is that expectations, okay? And then, I'm going to come back. So with careers, choosing a career, But now I think we're getting more just being exposed to a lot of the opportunities. So the stereotypical ideas are slowly kind of phasing away. My daughter is, adult. Instead of being what, also I'm very traditional, I guess too, but I let her have her room. So she became actually first Korean American female K-pop rapper when she was in college. So she was well known, and she has her YouTube, she has her videos, and she'll perform with some of the rappers. Yes? Her stage name is Shindy, S-H-I-N-D, Shindy. So if you Google, but I said, it's wonderful when you're young, finding your interest and your hobby, but you're in your 30s. No one wants to marry you when you're a rapper. There's no money. I'm sorry, there's no money. And so we kind of twisted a little bit. Actually, so they just got teaching credential, both of my daughters. So I know, but they said, I'm only doing it for you. I'm only doing it for you because your expectations, but I'm not really too thrilled about it. I say, it's okay, you can go and teach whenever you want. You have something to fall back on. But her desire, her really ambition is music. So she writes music and little beats here and there for entertainment and commercials and so on. But there's a little Koreanness in me. I said, no. So, okay. The qualities of immigrant parents, they have a strong work ethics. They work 14, 16 hours a day, strong emphasis on education, strong family ties. They always say, would you do that for your family? They always ask me, do you do that for your family? Oh gosh, I'll do it for me, but for my family, so I had to think twice, right? There's a strong family ties, and then, believe in the old American dream. Because I don't know if it's time to talk about it. I was really raised in Seattle, so I'm really Americanized. And after I finished my college, I was still single. And then my parents said, no, you can't be single. You have too much into career. So I went to Korea for a visit, family visit. And then I got introduced to a strange man. And then we had 3 meetings and I got married to a total stranger. So I had arranged marriage. So my husband really believed in the American dream. He's still dreaming. We've been married for 28 years. He's still dreaming. American, yes. Because opportunity, land of opportunity. So when he first came, he was a college graduate student studying pharmacy. But he didn't want to do that. It was his parents' dream for him to become pharmacist, right? He's always wanted to be people, where you're a lot of meeting people, different things. So he came and he thought, well, I want to be this and this and that. So he tried a lot of things, but again, his English is somehow limited. So we had opened up our business. We had a little sushi restaurant. We had no idea how to even roll kimbap or sushi, but there was an opportunity. So we opened up a franchise Japanese restaurant. Forget that, after it was too much work. Then we opened up a wholesale highlight French bakery. Can you believe it? No experience and no knowledge about any French baking, but it was an opportunity. So we opened up this wholesale French bakery. After a year, it was too much work, no money. And so then he found, computer engineering, and worked for insurance, everything. He worked for LAPD officer. Now he's his own company, he's a financial consultant. But he said this is really, United States is really where you can dream and you can become anything you want, really, if you put your mind to it. And he's really a good example. But I think he only was able to do it because I wasn't really fussy. I could have just kicked him out and said no. However, though, he really married me with no relatives, just really believing in me. And I had a teaching career, it was solid. So I think that made him feel more comfortable, but guaranteed. So he could try to do whatever he wanted to. So he changed 10 different jobs within 10 years of our first marriage. Yeah, yes, I could really write a book about our marriage. There's so many stories to tell you about marriage, because I'm telling you, I married him on St. Patrick's Day in Korea, in Australian embassy, with a Jewish wedding gown. There's a lot of stories I could go on. So, and then I was a citizen, but he didn't have any green card or anything, so he had to wait. So he had to wait 2.5 months, 3 months before he got his green card. And in the 80s, if you marry a citizen, you get your green card immediately. So I had to leave him alone. I left him in Korea, came back. Because I was a teacher then. So I came back to school, told my principal, I got to change my name, I got married. He goes, what do you mean you got married? And I really had nothing to show. I mean, we got married so fast. We got married in 10 days. First was a coffee, second was just a dinner and engagement, third was a wedding. In 10 days. Okay, so with all that, no one would believe me, right? So, where is your husband? Well, he's in Korea. Well, where's your picture? He's in Korea. Where's your wedding? He's in Korea. Everything is Korea. Says no. So no one would believe me. And so time passed, and then on June 20-something, that was his arrival. And then I was teaching, and I was late. You know, I'm never late, but that day, I don't know what happened. So I was late picking him up at the LAX. So I go there, looking, and at that time, you know, every man looked the same. I mean, you know, they all coming off the Korean airline, right? All coming dark suits, dark hair, same hairstyle, same suit. And everyone I looked like, that's not him, I'm not sure. Is that him? I'm not sure. So I looked at every man that came out of the gate, and I couldn't find him. So I thought, oh my God. So I just found a little place to sat there, time passed. Somebody would come and tap my shoulder and says, looked at, are you? I said, are you? Yes, yes. And then we got into our car, and I was driving a long Cadillac. And he thought, oh my God, who's this woman driving a Cadillac, right? And so he said, other side of the seat. I'm sitting one side driving. Oh my God. Anyway, more stories to tell. And then our first meal, we went to Denny's, because it's, oh, I go to Denny's. You can pick whatever you want. So we go to Denny's. And then we sit there, and she says, you know, what would you like to drink? He says, the usual 7-Up. Because Korea, you usually get 7-Up or Coke. That's it. He says, just usual. He says, no. Then he said, what else is there? Well, there's a Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, 7-Up, there's Sprite, orange juice, and, you know. I says, oh my God, so complicated. Just give me anything. So then we get a salad. In Korea, you get one dressing. It's usually at Thousand Island. So he gets a salad, and then the waitress says, what kind of dressing? I said, oh, what is there? He says, oh, we got Thousand Island, we got the blue cheese, we got the Italian, we got the vinaigrette. He says, oh, just get me anything. So we order meat, right? And then here in Korea, they just cook you a steak, that's it. You don't ask rare, medium, rare, well done. Oh my God, so just ordering a meal, it took us about an hour. So then next time he says, don't ask me any questions, just order whatever you want. So that's our first couple days after he arrived here. And there are more episodes about driving. Oh God, because I had a license. He had to get his license, just imagine. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so when it comes later about dating and marriage partners, so I'm really not a good example. Okay, so there's also intergenerational conflict, and there's expectations. There's all the gender-based expectations, because I grew up with 4 siblings. I have older brother and me, my younger sister, my brother. And we lived in Seattle, so all our names are Jung. Because here, you use your first name, you use your last name. So all Jung Shin. So we go to school, we all put Jung Shin. And so somebody would call, can I speak Jung Shin? We say, well, which one? And then there's, well, how many are there? I said, there are 4 Jung Shins in the family. Do you want a boy or a girl? So we just had, just didn't name, because as you maybe heard already, Koreans, they have their surname, family name. Then you have your generational sort of family names. All your children, your offsprings, same. And then your middle name may be different for your own identity. So I was Jung Hae. And then my sister, Jung Suk, Jung Seok, and Jung Soo. All sound the same, right? And so every time we go, it's Jung, we're like, yeah. It's not me, oh, it's you. It's not you, it's you. So we also went through a little bit of that. And being the eldest boy in the family, you know, gender bias. So my parents really didn't expect, I mean, he was like a prince. He didn't do a lot of things. We had to wait till he's home to have dinner, wait till he's ready to sit down. So we still had those old tradition, which we didn't really argue. We just went along because At that time we're very obedient. We didn't know any better. Now we're not really arguing. It's just that we know a little more so they can make sound decisions. But when you're little, your parents are God. You have to. So we follow everything. So he was like a prince and we did all the work. And then as we learn a little bit, well, it's a really, society is same, we treat genders equally. And then, but in the household was not. Outside, yes, but in the household, it's not. We still have the same, stereotypical gender-biased expectations. But as we're growing up, we change a little bit. We adapt to the American style. So, okay, now back here, comparison with others. Our Korean families always love to compare, right? Oh, they have to stop. Oh, yeah. We always invite our families, really find the goodness in your own children. Do not compare to your cousins, your nephews, your niece, your next door neighbor. Just because next neighbor is going to Harvard does not. So whatever it takes, they'll try to convince. So we always tell them, no, you have to appreciate your children for who they are, what they are. Really. Because then they have respect, they have confidence, they can soar, they can do more. So I always tell them, do not compare, do not compare. You want to compare the person's productivity or performance from yesterday to today and what they could become tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to just speed up a little bit. Okay, when I was visiting Korea, I saw lots of photos here, there, pictures, But I thought this was very interesting, how times are changing. In the past, remember gender bias? It was always the female mother would have the baby, right? Now father is doing and having some in here, so she's taking the lead. And I thought that was really interesting. But again, my mother-in-law will not approve that. When she came to visit us, my husband tried to help around, so he had a diaper bag, right? And the milk was changing a diaper. She just stormed out of the room. She says, I need to talk to you. And I said, okay. I said, don't you dare have my son do that. I'm thinking, oh, okay. And I said, then are you going to help? She said, no. So again, she had different expectations, by little. So we just do what they expect. So house, outside, with them, I behave differently, to make everybody comfortable and keep peace at home. Okay? And again, we have to help our students, but if you don't know your children, we really can't help them. So identify those students who are not meeting expectations and know who these children are. Accept students and find value in them, who they are. 4 A's. It's not A in English, A in math. It's attention, acceptance, approval, and affection. Okay? And culturally sensitive to life experience of our children, and then work close with our families, develop after in our students. Okay, also, learning is a product of a relations between student and teacher. The quality of relationship is built on one's knowledge of the student, and there has to be a willingness to know our students, we are, and put face to the name. Okay. This is a field trip for kindergarten children in Korea, and I was surprised to see a male teacher in a kindergarten class. Because maybe in the 80s, that was not really heard of, but now times are changing. Okay, typical classroom behaviors, Korean values, Korean youth, they show respect by avoiding eye contact, bowing, and not initiating conversation with elder. Okay, so times are a little bit different now, but if you look back, a lot of time teacher says, I'm talking to you, please look at me. And then they still don't look at you and think, I'm talking to you, I told you to look at me, and still don't look at you. And sometimes we misinterpret that as being defiant. But it's just their customary. It's rude to really see people from eye to eye. It's disrespectful, actually. Okay, so that's one of the reasons. Okay, and even now, even though they're actually American born, because I'm in a Wilton in the Korean town, a lot of youngsters been coming, they see me, they bow. Okay, and so I thought that was really neat, and they say, instead of, some kids go, give me high five. So I get high five and big hugs and bows. So I just go along. You give me high five, I give you high five. You bow, I bow too. So, yes.
What age do children start not giving eye contact? At a younger age or like kindergarten up?
Start
Not giving eye contact.
But here in the States, as they're in our classrooms, Because they have tools, they learn. So you could just sort of say, I understand that we value all different cultures, we come from many different lands, we have different values. So it's okay to let them know. But here, because I like to make sure that I'm communicating with you, I want to make sure that you are hearing me. So it's okay to look at me, make eye contact. So you may start as, kindergarten. Because now the kindergarten children, they all look at you. And you're trying to get your materials ready. They all look at you, ready to learn. Said, oh, then you start singing a little bit. But again, so they are accustomed to, because that is showing also the respect. Okay. Whereas American youth, they show proper behavior by maintaining eye contact, smiling, and make friendly conversations. See, Korean youngsters will not start a conversation, because when I first start to teach, they ask me like, are you married? I'm thinking, oh my God. So they don't hesitate. And then, I have like long nails, and they ask me, why do you have long nails? Why do you have nail polish? It's very personal questions children ask. But Korean youth will not ask those personal questions. Okay? And they use the name of an adult speaking. Here we say, hey, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Jones, or Martinez, we call them by last names. Korean youth don't call their surnames because that's sort of showing out disrespect. So they use a term called 선생님, which means teacher, more honorable teacher, 선생님. So in classroom, when they raise their hands, instead of saying, Miss Jones, I have a question, they raise, 선생님, 선생님. And then sometimes teachers say, my name is so-and-so, my name is so, can you call me by? But again, it's just cultural. So 선생님 is accepted, that's how they're raised, and they call you by that to show respect.
So in the classroom, especially in like with high number of Hispanics, and so you will always hear Miss, and then the trained Americans will be like teacher, and then so sometimes and then the teachers who do not understand this, they're like, what's wrong? Don't they know my name? And they get all mad, and I'm trying to explain it's cultural, and they're giving you respect by saying Miss, Mister, and then so I bring that to attention in my classroom. It's so multicultural, and I bring that to culture. Do you realize how Andy always calls me teacher, and then you guys say Miss, and then now it's to a point where even the Caucasian students are saying Miss, because there's some Miss hearing it all around, and so, but I do bring it to light, and I say it's not that they're stupid, can't remember names, and it's not that it's being respectful because what they were taught. Yes.
Thank you for bringing that up. And you're really using that as a teachable moment to bring different values. That's excellent. Thank you. And another, avoid insulting teachers that provide I don't understand. Koreans often, when you explain a lot of things, whereas American youngsters would say, well, I don't understand it. And they continue to ask for clarifications. Korean children, they don't want to really, make maybe teachers feel bad or they're not as knowledgeable. So they just say, just go along. They just nod. They just go along. And then they just politely nod, even while not understanding and attribute the difficulty of their own lack of religion. So they just nod. And then after school, they try to find answers for the friends and families. Here, we ask questions to demonstrate one's intelligence and perceive their own learning depend on good or bad teaching. So here, oftentimes students will say, I didn't learn anything today because I'm a bad teacher. But oftentimes, it's just how they perceive things. So just knowing both, will make us stronger. We'll hesitate to express personal opinion, fear of that it may sound presumptuous or contrary to the feelings of a teacher. Whereas American youngsters would able to give their own opinion, own views and topics and defend their statement. So because of that, a lot of Korean youngsters have a little difficulty at a debate. When you have your speech, when you have a presentation, debate, panel, Korean youngsters have a little difficulty because they just really don't have that kind of rich experiences. And just because they're not really expressing does not mean they don't know it. But you ask them to put it in a different way. You could put it in writing, you could demonstrate by showing, then they do well. So just knowing that provide more opportunities for them to express. And I think we talked about that, so I'm going to just pass on because you have that. Okay, then bullying. Well, in Korea, it's sort of embedded because from the military, and even in school we hear. I mean, here too we hear a lot. You know, we hear too frequently now. Everything is bully. Every time they come and say, "Oh, my child is bullied." Do you understand the definition of bullying? They don't understand. Well, he touched me. Well, once, twice, 3 times, what? Yesterday, today? No, only today. Well, that's not really a definition of bullying. There's a lot going on. It's just really overly used, not understanding. But in Korea, bullying is very severe. There's a lot of mistreatment because maybe they're older, or maybe gender, or their family's ranking, status, all of that. So there's a lot going on in Korea. And when they come here, sometimes they think it's okay. So we see that in our schools. Older kids might say, give me that, give me that. You know, and then we say that's extortion. We don't really say that's really extortion, but when we call families and say, oh, your older kid here in the little bathroom here asking a second grader to give up your lunch money, well, that is extortion. You know, they say, oh, because we did in Korea. No, here in the States, here in LA, we don't do that. That's a form of bullying, that's a form of extorting. And that is, you know, we call all these, then they get very scared. They would let the families know that these are not tolerable offense, whatever. So we have to sort of raise their awareness. Okay? And they always say, we're just playing. You know, you hear that so often. We're just playing. Well, we're not playing. One's hurt. One's unhappy. We're not playing, you know. So what are the factors? Because sometimes maybe they see it. There's abuse of adults in the house, maybe peers. Okay, bullied by their friends, encourage bully to be part of the group, to fit in, so they think it's okay. And then constant negative feedback to get some attention. And the anticipatory hostility, so they want to attack before they're attacked. Inadequate supervision at home, school, or community. What can we do about that? Okay, we all have our policies and regulations, so we just really get involved. Okay, don't just push it under the rug, and we have to maybe review guidelines and so on. It's really for safety for all children, and then be consistent in enforcing these rules. And then give them some opportunity to talk to counselors, maybe role playing, but then also make it clear to students that it's not part of our American culture, and then maybe explore different ways so that they can have more positive experiences. Okay. How do you engage our families, our parents? Most schools already have all of this. You have your brochures, Q&A papers, school website, you have coffee with the teachers, coffee with the principal, evening affairs with the teachers and principals. You know, we do a lot of different things. You're there to engage them and get them involved. Grade level meetings, family nights, sports events, you know, college, school monthly events, recognition awards and celebrations. And then communicate regularly with our families about our goals, instructional goals, and student progress. And then at home, how to provide that extra assistance at home, give them some tools and guidelines and some suggestions, include them in various school activities. So here, because in Koreatown, we have so many holidays here and there, so we celebrate lots of holidays, Korean Thanksgiving, Korean Children's Day, New Year's Day, and also the Korean Hunger Day and many others. Okay, parents, they want to feel accepted, included, respected, and securely important. Sometimes our parents come, they feel like, oh, you know, there are all these people there, they all know it, I'm not as important. I said, no, you're important. You're sitting here and representing your family, your children, you're important. So this is really critical for our families to feel they're needed. Okay, and some of the popular topics, we've done many parent workshops, and you know, some workshops we have standing room only. Some workshops not as well attended. So these are topics that our Korean parents really are interested. College awareness, age requirements, gifted program, testing, all different instructions to be identified as gifted, successful parent-teacher conferences, state testing, how to get them prepared, reading comprehension, writing strategies, and how to apply for scholarships and so forth. Like at our school, like when we have our English Learner Advisory Council, you know, you talk about EL programs. I mean, they're all EL, so they should really know how classroom instruction is set up and structured. But sometimes they think, well, I have an after-school program. My child goes to tutor here. My child goes over here. So I could pick that information elsewhere. So that's just one example. And school site council, that is really a decision-making council where they look at the policies, look at the budget, we get them in. But oftentimes they say, well, my English is not very good. My skills are not very good. I said, no, we provide translations. So usually our meetings, we have Spanish translation, we have Korean translations. That's it. If it's really language, you need to come. And so we have to try many different things to give them points, incentives. Whatever the parents show up, we give door prizes, we give out extra books to read, homework passes a little bit. Whatever that it really makes them interested. Okay, Miss King gave me a little warning signal. Okay. I know, thank you. Okay, so all these things are pretty standard. You always do that. So I'm going to just get you some pictures and share some pictures I took while I was in Korea. This is actually a Korean kindergarten classroom. So they no longer sit in their little single desks and chairs. They all really do a lot of social groups, a lot of sharing. Okay? And they have many opportunities to go to the library, many opportunities to go to the field trip. And this is the middle school where teacher-student relation is a little casual. It's not like you have a distance. They are not really casual, but where the social setting is opened, where they can share their ideas. Okay? And in class, they're responsible for all their books. How people complain. Parents have to buy all their textbooks, reading, math, language, science, everything, and they have to. So this is the student area. And it's just amazing how everything is so organized. And they bring their own pencils and everything they need. The teacher says, okay, bring out science book, bring it out, workbook, and they know exactly where it is. Within 10-15 seconds they're prepared. So I thought that was really amazing. Okay, and this is this is a music class. And all the boys sit on one side, the little girls sit on one side, even though they're looking at each other, right? And then that's another enriched classes, calligraphy class. And there's some activities where all the boys gender, single gender, but when it's co-ed, still they separate themselves. This is their lunch. Yeah, I thought that was really amazing. Their lunch is very brief. They all come and get their food, like buffet style sort of, and they sit and they eat so fast. Within 10 minutes, 700 kids are done. And they're all out on the yard. I said, oh, I need to learn that skill. And so I said, what? Sometimes they play classical music, they play some music, and they tell them the quiet you are, the faster you get to play out on the yard, you have your area of choice. So that was their strategy. Taekwondo class, elementary. So they have a lot of other experiences, not just academics. This is a middle school, well-known middle school, Taewon Middle School. That's the school entrance. Students now walking up to enter school. Okay, oh, sorry, I went a little too fast. So they bring all their things. Some schools have uniforms, but it's not really required. Okay, that's the school campus, how clean everything is, no paper, no litter. Okay, and I thought this logo is really neat. It says, 스승을 부모처럼. Treat your teacher as your own parents. 제자를 자식처럼. Treat your students as your own children. 동문을 형제처럼. Treat your colleague as your brothers and sisters. I thought that was really neat. Treat your teachers as your parents, treat your students as your own children, your colleagues as your brothers and sisters. Okay? And then every school they have what they're called goals. Here it says, aim highest, have the highest goals and expectations, they do your best. And that's their hallways after school's out, how clean it is. I know, I said, really? Are they on vacation? No, it's after school. I said, oh. Yeah, that's the cafeteria after they've eaten, so clean. Okay, and they, of course, the food workers, they do their cooking. And they have lots of little posters about their rules and regulations. And they read them as they pass as a reminder. Okay, okay, this is student assembly. We're having a student election. Okay, all sitting there, all crowded, they don't complain, listening to all the candidates to their speech. for me, campaign. And this after school, before they go to their enrichment classes, they cat around, go places to eat, relieve their stress, beat on some drums, and all the snacks, dried fish, dried everything. Okay, and then during summer or even the vacation camp, they have a camp to visit temples for meditation. Not really for religious purposes, but to meditate, finding themselves. Okay, and temple stay experience. And then other athletic activities. This is their dining room. Okay, you have your own food. You have a common food. When we had our educators go, they all sit there, start to eat their own. No, this is common. Everyone shares this common. This is all common side dishes we share. But we thought it was all one person gets everything. But so when you go to a restaurant, you have to ask which is mine, which is common, or to share. Koreans really love to eat. Okay, this is the DMZ going. Okay, we saw a lot of this. You know, that's the South Korea, North Korea, Panmunga. That's the conference. Okay, that's the ROK, Republic of Korea soldiers on guard. Okay, and that's the line. Remember, North Korea, Kim Jong-un passed right here. That separates North and South Korea. Soldiers on guard. Okay, this is attack mode. Korean ROK soldier. They're standing on the attack mode, Taekwondo attack mode, and they could attack someone within like 3 seconds. Okay, and that's the changing of the guards. Sorry, that was a bridge of no return with the prisoner they were exchanged. But I think we're going to cross here when we have more conferences. Okay, tunnel, still. And this is right after the Korean War, how Korea was just devastated. Okay, no food, just really very, very poor. Okay, and you can see how people are just trying to survive. Okay, this is right after the war, before the Olympic Games, 1988. It just developed so much, okay? And that's just a nightmare everywhere. Okay, and now in Korea, a lot of these, they have lots of Korean words here, you know, Paris baguette, right? This one, it says love ice. It says Korean love ice. We don't know what love ice is, because when Korean people read love ice, what is that? Ice cream, maybe? So we have a lot of these things we're not quite sure. And then you have lots of English words here and there. So a lot of the elder people find it difficulty finding places. Okay, and we got lots of other American Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, KFC. This is a flea market, shopping. Okay, I got 1 minute left. Okay, you all know all of this. Okay, K-pop. Oh, and transportation in Korea is so well developed. It is just amazing. And everything is electronic. You don't need to carry anything, just a little purse, everything's scan. Pretty soon you have to scan your eyeballs. I am telling you, it is so clean. Everything is so electronic. You don't need any cash. Everything is cards. Okay, yeah, so clean. They have all the recycle bins. And I thought this was so interesting in the bathroom. It's 한 장으로 충분합니다. 1 sheet is enough. That's what he said. I need that in our bathrooms. I thought that was amazing. 한 장 is enough. Okay. Okay, I'm almost done. That's King Sejong. Okay. And then that's the Blue House, the White House, and then Namdaemun, Sungdaemun, changing of the guards. Okay. And in Korea, other side is very modern. You see all the modern buildings. This side is all traditional. So you could compare and contrast. Okay, that's the end of it. Remember the soccer team? That was year 2002. Okay.
Do you have any questions? All right, okay, pretty much understand.
You have a question? Yes? Yes, ma'am.
Why is it being so clean? Do they instill it in students at home that you protect your environment, you don't mess it up, you don't do refuse? Is that something that's instilled in the culture?
Why is it always clean everywhere? You know, because South Korea is very small. It's like half of Utah. So they have to really invest in every area. and they try to utilize every area to benefit. So they don't really believing in littering. Even trash, you know, each household, they have to separate what's recyclable, what's paper, what's box, what's bottle. And they have to separate to dump to their dumpsters. And there's a fine, heavy fine when you don't. Sometimes the neighbors try to put their trash to the neighbor's trash. There are people they're guarding, and when you do it, there's a heavy fine. Even on the street, you see lots of logos and signs, please fresh, you know, trash-free, litter-free, keep our environment nice and peaceful, and, you know, so we can live a good, clean life.
What do they do with the food? When they throw out the food, where does that food garbage go?
That really is a big problem, because, you know, there's so many places in Korea, we waste so much food, so pretty much, you know, they come, they try to fill landfill, but the landfill is not filling up, so they're trying to, I guess, don't use the recycling. So paper plates, styrofoams, all those recyclables, not recyclable, those, you know, what do you call those, consumable ones. So they're trying to find people for using consumable products. Yes?
I hope this is not too personal, but you said you were Americanized, right? Way before you met your husband, correct? So was it easy or was it difficult for you to like just transition into being a prearranged marriage?
You know, I mean, no marriage is easy, right? It's like we're like still best friends. I don't think we're romantic. I mean, I don't think I was romantically in love with my husband. It was just my companionship. And because my parents' expectations, I have to make it work, right? And so even if I want to say something to my in-laws, you know, I kept my mouth closed. There's the old saying in Korea, when you first get married, 3 years you say nothing. 3 years you hear nothing. 3 years you something. So 9 years you have to keep silence to keep marriage happy. But anyway, but I can keep for 3 years and 3 years, you know me, I'm very verbal. And so I just pretty much say, you want to live in the States, you're here, you have to learn both ways. So we compromise a lot, we negotiate a lot. But you know, so little by little, I think I changed him. I mean, when we went to Korea after we got married and came here, you know, he went with hair perm, with a Calvin Klein jeans. My in-laws would not see him. They said, "Oh, how dare you convert my son?" You know, everybody with Calvin Klein jeans. I mean, this is 90s, right? And he had a perm. It's easy. He didn't know, and he had a mustache. So he said, "Shave off your mustache, change your to slats." So he did that to please them. So we kind of compromised and, you know, time passed. We've been married since 37 years. Thank you.
Before our next speaker, we'll take a 5-minute break. But can